if you were watching the State of the Nation address yesterday, there were certain names that cropped up in the president's speech, namely the Kate PapaFios of this nation and the Tony Sineys and other entrepreneurs that were also mentioned, and the importance of the public and private sector coming together and working together to help the nation as a whole. Well, we are very, very pleased to present to you this morning Kate PapaFio herself, who's with us. She's the CEO of Reroy Cables. Good morning to you, Kate.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. First off, how does it feel to have your name mentioned by our president on such a national platform?
That's wonderful. Looking at it in terms of entrepreneurship and what women can do in this nation, I think it was a real treat.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now let's get into the whole discussion about entrepreneurship within Ghana. President stated, obviously, that we need to bring this relationship a lot closer between the private and the public sector to help entrepreneurs such as yourself flourish within Ghana and also help the development of Ghana. What was your take on that particular?
I would say that fantastic. This is where we need the public sector and the private sector together, where we can plan and say that, listen, where are we now in terms of the private sector and the public sector? Where are we going? The next 10 years, what can we do together? Where we can plan and move the nation forward. And it's something that really, in terms of private and public, we ourselves, what can we do? Private and public sector, there's no difference. The difference is execution, how we're going to move it forward and how it should be done. And I think that this is the time that the private and the public should come together and think and plan together.
Okay. First off, as a woman, and secondly, obviously, as a successful entrepreneur, what are some of the challenges that you've actually faced on your road to where you've reached at the moment?
I would say that as a woman of this nation, women are always like the backbone. But perseverance and diligence, making sure that you are there on time, making sure that whatever you have, hold and move it forward. We have to be focused on the things that really are important to us. And I think perseverance is one of the things that, as a business or entrepreneurship, you always need to have a plan ahead of time where you can really take up all the opportunities around us.
Now, you talk about planning. So when is it that you would, as an entrepreneur, successful one, in your plan, when is it that you would find the perfect time to execute your plan? Because obviously right now there are a lot of financial and economic difficulties. We may have an entrepreneur may have the best business plan ever, but because of the climate it may not be as successful or come to fruition as the person wants. So when is it, in your opinion, a right time to embark on such challenges and plans?
Looking at it, the time, when is it? When I'm sure every public sector, they have their roadmap, bringing us together and closer, that this is the plan that we have. This is where we are going. So as entrepreneurship, what can we do together? It has to be like that. Once they come in, it's like, well, you don't even know what the sector needs. Then it throws you out. But once you can be together and say that, well, listen, this is what we have. This is our roadmap. In the next 5, 10, 15 years, we want to move from here to that. What are we going to do? Then this is a time that if we are talking about planning, where one can sit in his own and say that, well, I'm planning to do this and that and that. But is it actually fruitful? Is it going to be fruitful? Is it going to bear fruits that your plan? But if you are together and say that, well, listen, this is the area. What can we do in terms of electrification, in terms of the energy sector, in terms of, there are so many areas. When you look at it and you look around us, most of the things are from outside. But this is a time that we realize that, well, we need this because we need to have our power sector running efficiently with backups. We need to have a system where you won't even have to have any doubt. Once you know that you are in the lift, it's moving up.
That's right.
And you just have to move with them. So this is the time that I think we have to plan together. So if we're talking about planning, not ourselves, on your own, having your business plan and you realize that it's not working out, but the public and the private sector planning together and working as a team.
Okay. The president mentioned that Ghana had gone from 92nd to the 63rd position in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index.
Yes.
Cause to celebrate. Obviously, us going up in the rankings, wonderful. But what is it that you would think, or what is it you feel that should be done in order for us to go higher in that particular ranking?
I would say that yes, it's a cause of celebration. And we can actually, as where we are now, looking at it and say if we are 63, what should we do to even better it? There are a lot that we can do, especially to do with even our small entrepreneurs, the small scale. What are we going to do to bring them up, for them to move from where they are? Because once you're a small scale, you think that you are small, but you start from being a small scale and move up.
That's right.
So by moving up, of course, it will be better. So I would say that of an opinion that we should all come together and even help the small scale and the medium scale. Let them also climb up. And within the next few years, it's going to be better than where we are now. So
what do you think about the free zones? Because it was set up to give entrepreneurs and businesses a tax break. Yeah. And on not only that, but help decongest some of the problems or the traffic that we have centrally within our centers, Accra and such. Do you think this is a good initiative, and how encouraging do you think the free zones are to entrepreneurs? I think it's quite encouraging. It's all because we don't even know what it entails to be in the free zone. Once we take a little interest in it and say, like, what can we do? What are the benefits? Because most people, they don't even know. If we talk about the free zones and we talk about tax-free, the small scale, you will look at it and say that, well, most of them, they are not even paying tax one way or the other. Yeah. Some of them do, but some of them, they don't even know what it is. So already, they are enjoying the free benefits already. So this is where we say that, well, with small scale, 10 people, 15, 20 people, let's come together. What can we do? What are the areas where one way or the other, one person is doing this, so that we will have a supply chain? So if we look at it and say that in the free zone enclave, what are the companies? How can the companies come together? And even the small scale, I mean, those in small shops, some small areas, we can have an integration where we can bring them all together. Because, for instance, I mean, if you go to a place like, I will just give you this example, because you go to a place like Opera. I mean, most of them, they sell electricals. But when you look at it, most of the things are from outside. That's right. So how many shops are there? Can't we be together? What can you produce? Then in your small way, well, I can do porcelain, this person can do this, so it will become a supply chain where it will integrate within what we need. Because they are all electrical shops anyway. So electrical shops, everybody is importing. I'm going to bring it over to import services slightly, because you right now, you're exporting, aren't you? Yes. You're actually exporting. Yes. And so you're a strong advocate for the made in Ghana angle. Yes. So, I mean, how is it that we can make ourselves competitive to be able to export and make money and bring in, money towards our GDP? Because at this moment in time, we have a lot of high operational costs. Yes. I think when you look at it, I mean, once you're doing something on your own, you tend to even undermine what you are doing. You think that, maybe what I'm doing is just a bit too small. But there's nothing that you call small. If only you put your mindset to it, that coming together will move everybody forward.
and it will move the nation forward. And all these shops and all this, I mean, it's like, listen, this country needs this. What are we going to do? What do you have? I have this, you have that, they have this. We put together, we move, and we are giving export. You cannot say that, well, you're going to export by yourself if your working capital is so small. Why can't we just come in together as a consortium?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this skeptically. Ghanaians, even when you go onto the street and you try and buy something, everybody puts their 12 months rent and deposit on that one item, trying to make a quick buck. Is that part of the problem that we have? Because we do need an attitudinal change if we want to proceed, don't we?
Yes, indeed, we do need it. But you see, because maybe we will say that our overheads. But what are you talking about, overheads? As you rightly said, you put everything on it. Making sure that, well, today, if I'm to just get away with
one,
I'm done.
My rent is paid.
It doesn't work like that. It always works where you start from somewhere and collectively just put together that, well, listen, if we are going to export maybe 10 pieces, can we get 20 pieces? Can they out there also put themselves together so that they can take a lot from Ghana? So with that, it comes saying that you don't have to put all your eggs and say that, well, I'm going to get this thing done myself. So with other people coming together, we move. And when you go out there, it comes in where the people will say, oh, this is from Ghana. So, of course, if it's from Ghana, and you even have to bring the raw materials or whatever it is from outside, we are creating jobs here.
We are
creating jobs.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised that you come in your own small way, then it's like, oh, okay, at least you have a helper. You have somebody there who will carry the things out. You have the loaders, you have the drivers. So by the time you realize, the person driving the things from here to even the port, creating jobs.
Yeah, indeed. I like you. You're nice. Now I understand why the president was mentioning your name. Kate, I'm going to ask you to give some advice at this moment in time to all the young entrepreneurs out there who are yearning to be the next Kate PapaFio and be out there and be mentioned by the president and be one of our shining stars.
Thank you.
What would you advise them?
I would say that the young people coming up, they should have a vision of the day, a vision that the nation needs. Wherever you are, whoever you are, it's like, what is it that I can also contribute? How am I going to get there? How come Kate's name was mentioned? Perseverance. Don't give up easily. And don't run too fast, something that doesn't belong to you. You only go in for where you can make it, but in your own small way, you have to start from somewhere. Just start and have a vision, and you'll get there.
All right. Well, I have to say a very, very big thank you to you, Kate, for coming in this morning and being so candid with us on our show. This has been Kate PapaFio. She's the CEO of Reroy Cables, and she was mentioned yesterday in the State of Nation address by our very own president. And I know sometimes he watches New Day, so feel free to mention Benny Blanco in your next speech as well. We'll be back soon.